Good morning, everyone. Wanted to make a video today about a Lovable project or project on vibe coding that I did recently. And I'll show you guys kind of how I set it up and how to navigate through the platform I'm using, which is Lovable, which is great. And kind of give you guys my learnings as I go. This is a very quick build. This is something that I'm passionate about. This is something I'm experienced about on the topic itself. But I want to show you kind of behind the scenes of what happens and how you guys could potentially spin up a website here in about 3 to 4 days if you guys want to. One thing about Lovable is that it is strictly vibe coding, so it is going to be a conversational kind of coding, but there's a little bit of tips and tricks that I use and I wanted to show you guys that can really help you guys build a website, whether it's your personal brand website, whether it's a web app, whether it's a small functional website that you guys are trying to solve a mini problem. This is the platform for it. Keep in mind, these vibe coding platforms aren't for big projects, so very important to know that if you're trying to build a full-blown app and even like a mobile app or transitioning from a web app to a mobile app, I don't think this is going to be the one. At least I don't know how to do it properly, because there is a lot of nuances to building a full-on mobile app or full-on web app that you're trying to monetize heavily on. But with that being said, let me jump right into this. And as you guys can see on the very top, scroll to the very top, this is the Lovable platform. This is the project. I'll show you guys something real quick here, kind of give you a breakdown of the credits and some of the other settings and everything that you guys can adjust and really take advantage of this vibe coding platform. For people that aren't technical like me, this is a great way to kind of learn and really have a conversational approach to building a website that wasn't previously available, which is great. But let's get right into it. December 21st at around 11:45 a.m. So it was about 4 days ago. Keep in mind, if you look at the top right, it is December. It is Christmas, 7:30 in the morning. I'm making this video breakdown, but as you can see here, this is a combination. As you see here, this is actually pretty long, a decent long prompt for me here, saying that I want to build this product listing clarity review website. So that's where I'm at. I'm in e-com. I do a lot of merchandising. So this is something that I'm experiencing. I think I have the experience and the knowledge to provide a good product review for anybody. But the purpose, the core constraint, the human role and everything, like, this is something that I use ChatGPT, and this idea has been kind of festering in the background, or I've been building in the background on ChatGPT. I've been chatting back and forth with that platform to say, okay, I'm going to build this. How do I set this up? And eventually, at the end of that chat, in a kind of a couple weeks of chatting back and forth to make sure I've ironed out the details, I ended with ChatGPT to say, can you give me a Lovable prompt, this exact Lovable prompt to put in to start building the website, that once I was comfortable with the going back and forth with it and discussing and strategizing with ChatGPT. So pretty simple first step of setting this website up on December 21st. Kind of get that going, and I'm not going to read through every single chat log, but as you can see here, ChatGPT will go in and start building it, and there's 9 edits made on the first prompt. This is first prompt, and it'll show you what has been edited, built the hero, how it works, where you get all the stuff that is needed to have the framework for the website. So the landing page, which is considered the home page, has all these features, and the beauty of Lovable and being able to make this a little bit easier is they're going to keep asking questions. Hey, do you want to do this? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do this? This is something that is very helpful for somebody that could potentially be overwhelmed with the idea and thinking of different areas to improve, but they slow it down and say, okay, let's improve on this one instead of this. So it's kind of a very collaborative approach that vibe coding is very good at. So I'm very appreciative of that, and continue to kind of go down the prompt here. Prompt on the right side is just me telling them, okay, now that we have the structure, let's get everything else in place. So how it works, submit a page, thank you, and status page, and give them some rules. We want to definitely keep the guardrails on these vibe coding platforms. It can go all over the place. It can hallucinate areas that you don't want it to. So give them straight pages, give them straight rules to really keep it in check and make sure that the website you're building is the one that you want and not the one that Lovable thinks that you want. So that's pretty simple. Build out the 4 pages, 4 clean pages, landing page, which is the home page, how it works section. I'll show you guys here in just a sec. But this is kind of where I'm at. And now let's clean up the content a little bit. Let's figure out what to write and what to put in this. Once again, above the fold, they recognize terms like that, which is really good. And basically, this is all done through the constant chat I'm having in the background, or I'm having on another area, is through with ChatGPT. Now they get to kind of review what's going on here and build it out for me. And if you continue to look at what is being said, very structured, very, very, very important to structure this in a way that AI will understand. Remember, these guys feel like a junior person that you're working with, so you got to give them a very structured, very clear direction, or else they, number one, won't understand, or number two, at worst, they're going to go off and do their own thing, which is something that we don't really want at such an early stage of building a website. So above the fold, kind of get it pretty straightforward. This is probably variation number 3 or 4 of the above the fold. So this is the initial one. Keep in mind, we're still on December 21st. We're about 10-15 minutes in, and we've already had this kind of 2 prompts, and we're at a very, very decent spot. So headlines, everything. And now we got to build out the sections as well. So now we got, I think, what was that? 6 sections that I wanted to build out, or that ChatGPT and I discussed and wanted to build out. So at every kind of point that on ChatGPT that I'm very comfortable moving on to the next step, all I do is, hey, can you give me a Lovable prompt? And they'll build out these structures, they'll build out these rules, and making sure that we're on track. Because I've already talked with ChatGPT for the past 2 weeks on how I want this to look. So this is kind of a dual approach. You use ChatGPT to kind of vet out the ideas, clean up, and make sure we have guardrails in place. And then you tell them to create the Lovable prompt instead of me having to go and create it and try to type this out, which kind of defeats the purpose of having AI really help you out with not necessarily the basic stuff, but more the busy work. I've been always just using my voice on ChatGPT to kind of talk back and forth and talk the prompt or explain the prompt via voice, which makes things a lot easier, and I don't have to type out everything. But that's another topic that we can talk about. So as you guys continue to see this, and we're going back and forth, the landing page is good. And now we keep moving. We just keep moving. Write a simple how it works page for product listing. I'll show you guys version 3 or 4 of this how it works page. So pretty straightforward, pretty simple, and it's one of those things that needs to be done. In the past, you have to write all the content. You have to make sure you establish all this in pretty much real time, unless you have it pre-vetted out, pre-documented. But this is all done through kind of ChatGPT and how they want to structure it, and all the multiple conversations. I want to stress that you can't just go to Lovable, you can't just go to ChatGPT and expect them to know what you want and what they want you for this website or this idea that you're trying to build out. So another one of these prompts is a pretty simple one, the steps on creating the how it works. And I think I really wanted to avoid technical language. I think that's one thing on this one, is I wanted to make it simple enough that us non-technical people don't have to decipher through some of the languages that are not understandable. And that's very, very important in my opinion to building out future websites or current websites that you guys are building out, is to avoid those technical language. And you can just tell ChatGPT, and this is one of the things that I want to build this for a demographic that I have in mind. The demographic usually isn't technical, because they need their product listing to be looked at or to be helped. So we're not going to go into the nitty gritty of the technical stuff, because it doesn't make sense. And I established that early. So whenever I tell ChatGPT to give me a Lovable prompt, they'll have that kind of disclaimer in there as well to avoid. But continue on. Let's go to another one. So now we got to go to the submission page. So this is another situation that I wanted to kind of give you guys an example. This was probably the only section. This is version 1, only had this section right here. And I'm like, let's build it out a little bit. As you can see here, this is version 1. But now we're at a very, very more informational submit page. But just to give you guys a little context on what's going on these ones. It's not a one and done. It's not a just just this prompt will give you what you want. It's going to be a work in progress. You're going to massage it. You want to edit it. You want to prompt it in a way that it makes sense to you. But as I continue to go down here, then you got, when you have submission forms, then you got database involved. So what they want to do, and they'll do it automatically, and I accidentally decline, so ignore that. I accidentally decline this, but they're going to build it out in the back end. They're going to build out the cloud. They're going to build out the Lovable cloud is what they call it, and that's basically a backend. I believe it's connected to a Supabase, so you don't have to sign up for an account over there that you used to have. Everything's built within Lovable, which is something that I love. And continue to go down. Actually, I'll show you guys kind of the back end here. Pretty straightforward. Submissions, user roles, profile. You kind of see the database. You kind of see the users. Everything's finished. Everything's completed. Everything is on the edge function. If you know technical a little bit, this is kind of where we're at right now. AI, and they'll tell you kind of the usage and the connection. And it's all built into Lovable. You don't have to pay anything extra for now, I don't believe. So it's all built into kind of their token, submission, vibe coding, collaboration pricing that they have. And continue on. Let's design the internal backend. I won't show you guys the backend right now, but there is a backend. There is an admin that I can go in and review and edit and eventually upload the thing. I don't know why it says decline again, but it's working in the background. As you can see on the Lovable, there is action in the background. But let's move on. And says, okay, my next step was when it's submission is created, I wanted a little bit of an AI agent to kind of help expedite or help organize my thoughts and help organize how I'm going to approach some of the stuff on the video review. Obviously, majority of it's going to be me talking about it and evaluating your product listing, but there's going to be a little bit of AI agent help from some of the prep work and some of the stuff that potentially could help the end customer or the end client. But yeah, I think every single one of these are going to say decline, although I accepted it. So ignore that. Human review for internal use. I actually, oh yeah, no, I think this is where I realized I accidentally declined it. So no, I'm scrolling pretty fast here, but I'm reviewing this in real time with you guys, so nothing prepared on my end. Messages cancel. I want to say enable the cloud, so it goes back and, oh, there you go, enable the cloud. Now the database is built out. So keep in mind, we're still about 15-20 minutes in, 12 o'clock now. I think I started at 11:30 or something like that, 11:15, so a little bit longer than that, 45 minutes in. I allowed it. I wanted it enabled to kind of build out the platform, and it'll say, okay, I allowed it. Now they're building it out. I'm just going to go through this kind of one by one with you guys. Now we're at 12:12, so it took a little bit to build out the database, but another kind of prompt to kind of give you guys, hey, I want it to show, hey, this is how it's going to look, and I want the reviewers' responsibility to decide what matters, prioritize fixes. This is one of those things that I specifically told AI that AI isn't going to be making any decisions or suggestions on the product listing. I'm going to be the one doing that. They're going to do a little bit of different things instead of be the one that is like a fully automated AI tool to review your product list. I didn't want to be another one of those because it doesn't make sense. I think every product has its unique perks, and only really a human kind of emotion can really point it out, or the experience between a good and a bad or good to great product listing does require human interaction and a human review, in my opinion. So I gave them that specifically to say, okay, AI is not reviewing anything. AI is reviewing a little bit of the initial kind of text and everything that I wanted to scrape from the product listing. So keep that in mind, that AI, I would highly recommend you not having AI review anything. When it comes to e-com, when it comes to certain things that requires that human creative mind and that human experience that data can only teach so much to AI. So that's a very important rule. I'm going to keep going down and start really speed running through the rest, because as you can see here, we're still 12:21 and we got a long ways to go on this website build that I started on December 21st. So after human approval, once again, really straightforward structure, title, and the tone has got to be human, confident, and supportive. That's my approach to anything on a review perspective. You want to be confident. I'm confident in what I do, especially on product listings and e-com and everything. So as I continue to go down, you kind of see the theme consistently. A couple bullet points, very, very specific rules to follow as a kind of a header, but here's kind of the rules after that. Design a system so human can rule the rules. It's pretty straightforward. We want to really stress that AI is a prep. My AI agent is prepping a lot of things for me instead of AI agent creating the reviews for me. So as I continue to go down, allow another kind of database stuff going on. Whenever you see this little window right here, you can always allow it, or you can kind of copy the code. If you have a developer on hand, copy the code, see it does it make sense, and most of the time it is. We got some pages that we have, and I'm gonna really start kind of scrolling down, and you can see this is very important, the pricing structure, $150 per review, and kind of build out that page. As you can see, it's a pretty long one. What you receive, I thought this was very important, so I wanted ChatGPT to expand and keep expanding and keep focusing on what I want into the prompt, and eventually they'll create it. And the one thing I believe they keep forgetting is kind of my tone. I wanted to be calm, I wanted to be relaxed, and I wanted to be very, very human-like, right? If you guys go and use a lot of these AI tools enough, you'll know. It's similar to AI videos. It used to be very bad, and now you kind of drift towards a very more realistic video. Obviously, this was not a very realistic video. This is a very realistic video, excuse me. This is me just talking out loud and building out in the public here to show you guys a small project I'm working on. But you kind of get to know which one's AI versus which one's not. I know they're getting a lot better at it, but there's still nuances that you can spot out. So I wanted to be very specific that I am going to be the one reviewing the videos. This is one of the main reasons I'm producing these videos, is so I can be better, so I can really review pages properly and give you guys a value and speak in a very confident and smooth way going forward. So now we're about an hour in. We're December 21st, 12:25, and now we have a rewrite of the landing page. So I had a chance to really go and review. Like I said, this is probably version 3 of what the landing page or the home page was originally started out. But now we're trying to fix it a little bit. Added a couple imagery, created the design a little bit better, added more context, added more information. Once again, some of these blocks and some of the design features are very, very collaborative approach to make sure that it's the way I want it to be. I know there's a lot of white space here. I asked ChatGPT, should we clean it up? They're like, yeah, no, I think the information is good, if it flows well. But this is where I'm making these videos so you guys can also provide feedback to say, okay, no, that looks terrible. Eventually, I'll launch this website. I'll show you guys how I get this website up and going. But eventually, I'll upload this and kind of review it in real time in a real live aspect. But this is more focused on how I got to this point. And I wanted to update the visual. I already told you I added some imagery that AI created. Eventually, I'll have my own videos on here once I get some clients and once I review some actual product listings. Then you guys will see this kind of homepage evolve and adapt and really, really hopefully improve the experience that I want for the customer. And as you can see here, now I wanted to kind of work on the design a little bit. And you guys can see a big difference between my in the moment types versus the one that I use ChatGPT to kind of say, give me a lovable prompt to put in and to build out. So to actually build out and really focus on what I want to do, the Lovable to really build out from a code perspective, I usually rely on ChatGPT to do it. But if I have just in the moment kind of thoughts and stuff like that, I will just type it in here and say, update the how it works page. to be more of a modern glass view. I was just looking on my iPhone and looking on my iPad and just say, oh, I kind of like this view. I kind of like the rounded stuff. And this is kind of version 2 of what's going on here with this how it works page. As you can see here, rounded. It feels more non-boxed. So that's the approach I wanted. That's the feel I wanted. So I just made it really simple. Hey, match the modern glass design style. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Once again, this is a very conversational. I wanted to update the thank you page. Now I'm updating every single page, and this is a little bit of the mistake I made is that now it's asking me to do this design on every single page that we created. So this, ideally, I had it at a very early prompt. Ideally, I told ChatGPT I wanted this modern kind of glass feel, and it would have already built it and be building on that design. But for now, the mistake really cost me a couple tokens to update thank you page, update the deliverable page, and that's kind of 2 wasted prompts in my opinion. And if I could get that in early, I wouldn't have to do this. So another lessons learned on some of these things. And this is probably my 7th, 8th website that I built on Lovable. So I'm still making these mistakes, and this is a constant learning thing that I want to stress, that there's always ways to improve. Like these database features that Lovable is constantly innovating and making it easy for users like me, but I want to be able to kind of improve and avoid some of these things that you're spending actual money to help build this out, and you want to avoid that if you're bootstrapping or if you're building it from new and not having to learn the hard way. So these are the videos I'm making to hopefully get you guys to not make these mistakes. But it's one of the things that I missed out on is design is very important, functionality is very important. If you establish those early, you're gonna not have to redo them again later on. So add videos, placeholder, because it's going to be very important on the deliverables page. I know I haven't shown you guys that, but there is going to be that video that I record similar to this. But instead of reviewing my build, I'm going to be reviewing product listings. So as I continue to go, now I'm back to ChatGPT and their prompt. So I wanted to get a little bit of trust factor in it and say let me go to the home page. I say, hey, how can I integrate my experience in e-com, which has been over 15 years, to give people a peace of mind and to kind of get that trust factor into why you should use me instead of a random person on Upwork or a random person on these freelancing platforms. And kind of add this section right here. I'll probably add a picture of myself on here, and that's kind of going to be the final step about the reviewers, because I am going to be the one reviewing. I'm not going to delegate this to anybody else for now. It's going to be me reviewing everything, and I just wanted them to kind of have that authority reinforcement on here, not just on the home page, on some of the other areas as well. So once again, this is another ChatGPT. As you can see, very, very organized, very, very easy for Lovable to digest this information and kind of give you very specific areas to update and not have it, like I mentioned earlier, hallucinate or stray away from the human touch that I gave to ChatGPT and the conversations I've had with that. So as I continue to go down, now we're at 12:42 p.m. So we're just a little over an hour, and I've already had this whole basically version 1 and 2 built out, and keep going down here. I wanted a little bit of ease of use on the admin side of things, so I wanted an area just to upload the video and make it easy on my end. So as you guys see, a pretty specific difference between something that is just a spur of the moment thought that I had, wanted to type it in, and now we're back to more of a structured approach by adding the image that I mentioned earlier. Just these smaller images to cut this homepage down a little, or to balance out the homepage out a little bit. It used to just be text and buttons and call to action. I wanted to kind of really balance it out a little bit, and in my opinion, it looks decent. So this is version 2.3, if you want to call it. As we continue to go down here, we're still on the same day, December 21st, still same day. Added a short about the reviewers. I already mentioned that right here. 15 years, more structure, 5 to 6 short maximum lines. Didn't want this to be overwhelming to the user. And I think I believe this is one of the last few things I wanted to do on December 21st, which were about, like I said, about an hour and a half now in. Excuse me, I'm a little bit of runny nose. But about page, I think this one it requires a little bit of editing as I'm looking at this in real time with you guys here. Yeah, this will definitely be different. I know this is very straightforward. I want it to be more informational, more balanced in terms of imagery and about why I built product listing help and why you guys should use this feature. Because it is all human recorded, clear judgment, and I'm delivering this to you guys personally. I'm not selling this because it's not live. There's no need to sell it. This is just something that I wanted to kind of get out there, that everything on here, everything you're seeing that I'm building right now is editable, and you don't have to be a coder to edit. You can just conversationally type it, converse with ChatGPT, or just type it in yourself. So create a sample deliverable. I wanted to show you guys kind of the sample deliverables that I just wanted to really thought in the moment. I think people need examples, right? So this is a sample delivery. It's going to be a video here. It's going to give you a quick snapshot. What is clear, why buyers hesitate, and what should fix, and a little bit of my final kind of recap of the video that I made. So some of these are going to be AI assisted, like this one through my buyer's eye. After every video, I'll upload the transcript to the back end and have AI really review what I'd said and give you guys a final recap instead of having to watch this full video multiple times. I'm going to give you guys a quick recap of it, but it's going to be through my transcript and my information and my review on these product listings. Continue going down, add a link to the homepage, which I showed you guys where it was at right here. Let's continue to go. Now we're gonna I'm just gonna keep scrolling. Now we're at 1:11 p.m. So we're almost 2 hours into this build, and now we got, in my opinion, a fully contented website. The content is good. I don't know about functionality quite yet. We haven't really established that or reviewed that on my end. After about an hour and a half into this build, I have everything kind of frameworked out, built out, and able to start executing or start creating some of these videos with some test information. And this is exactly where we're at 1:12. I wanted to kind of build out a system level test submission. I don't know if you guys can see this. I can always zoom in, but let me zoom in a little bit. So I want to create a test examples for me to really actually practice and use information. So I want to allow you guys see this, but give myself access to it. And everything's done through Lovable Cloud. Once again, it's nothing external that I needed to set up on the database or the admin or even anything on that perspective. And I kind of wanted to get to you at 1:30 now. I'm in the testing phase. I'm going to scroll through this really quickly and kind of give you guys a real life look into a lot of these things. And we're still halfway there. This is December 25th. We're already 4 days into this. Now we're very, very heavy into the back end, the testing, to make sure everything is looking good on the admin section, which I might make a video about it. But for now, we won't look at the admin section because eventually that's going to have some information on the customer side that I don't want to be sharing. But I still wanted to kind of give you guys that it takes a while to build out the admin section. It's not just, hey, present this out. Oh yeah, in the meantime, here's the logo and everything that I wanted to tell them to update this. It used to just be a text to say product listing, help, or whatever, clarity, whatever the placeholder was. Now I give an actual logo. So logo looked a little funky, so I needed to fix it. And now I gotta write some of the legal stuff, the privacy policy. As you can see on the very bottom here, there's gonna be private terms, and there's a little bit of disclaimer here. Some of the legal stuff, obviously, if this starts picking up and we get some more traction on this idea, because this is another thing about Lovable, and I forgot to mention this earlier, is that this is a very, very inexpensive, very quick way to validate some small ideas that you guys have potentially, and some of these areas that you want to get some launched very quickly to kind of validate the idea, to spend a little bit on marketing, bring a little bit of traffic in, and kind of see if people are engaging the way you want it, or people are ordering the way you want it, and being able to kind of prove it out before you get a lawyer or somebody more serious from a developing perspective to review some of the code. But this is a very good start, very easy, very straightforward. I think, as I've heard this before on vibe coding platforms about people complaining how it's not the way to do it. But in my opinion, it's a very good way to validate. It's a very good way to see it in action, see your idea actually being built out and seeing it firsthand on your end before you give it to a potential customer. So it has its uses. It's not going to be your full-blown unicorn or full-blown business immediately. It takes time, and these one-off ideas might be good, but I think you still want to anchor it on the bigger idea that you can really, really lean on, which is what I'm doing right now. This is part of a bigger plan that I have in place, but I want to test this out. This is right in my wheelhouse, and I want to see if people will actually want this service or not. But continue on, a little sidetrack there, but use vibe coding as a way to really validate and get MVP out there quickly, but don't expect it to scale with you or the scale to the level that you think will the idea will take you. So be a little aware of that. And some of the other prompts here, I wonder how long I spent on it. Now we're at 3 o'clock. Did I skip that long? Yeah, now we're at 3 o'clock. So I believe I started at 11:30. I was say 11:30. Now we're a ways in. Now we're a few hours in. It's not a 1 to 2 hour thing. Now we're in I think hour 4, maybe. Yeah, hour 4 now. Still working on it a little bit on the side. It's pretty straightforward. Wanted to add some footer improvements here, and now we get into some that I probably will show you guys the process on it. It's very easy, but it's very important to kind of show how and why I'm using Lovable here is whenever I want to enable Stripe payments. So payments going to be done through here. $149 is going to be the price I charge to do a product listing review. So I need somewhere for the users to pay. And Stripe is very easy. It's integrated to, let me see, it's not part of this drop down, but it's integrated as simple as set up a Stripe payment for $149. I got to go in and create an API code for Stripe, and this is probably where I wanted to show you guys a tutorial or how I did it and how I got it integrated with Stripe. But very simple. I needed some API, I needed some documentation, I needed me to allow some of these things, but it'll create the list for you. And this is something, if you're experienced with Stripe in the past, you got to go in and create the product on Stripe first before it connects to the website, but now it's all kind of automated. It's done through Lovable. They'll create it and they'll connect it automatically. You just got to allow it a couple things here. Make sure the description and the price is right, and just say, okay, go for it. And they'll integrate the payment so people can pay, and you get to get paid as well. So, and wanted to kind of have a success verification, a thank you page, and that's it. Let me look at the time snap here. Did I move to the next day? Let me see. Probably check the date. So it was the 21st when I started. Now, okay, so I cut it off at the footer. After I finished the footer at 3:17, which is about 4 hours in, I'm done. Now I moved to December 23rd at 7 a.m. So bright and early. A couple days ago, 7 a.m. Let's set up Stripe. Now I had a couple days or a day or so to digest it, to review it. Now I'm like pretty comfortable to get the Stripe. So 7 a.m. Let's get this thing started. December 23rd, day 2. The Stripe integration took about 10-15 minutes. But this is also with some experience previously with Stripe and how to get that set up. You kind of know and fix some of the issues that potentially first timers need to experience first to get these 15-minute Stripe integrations completed. 17 minutes in, now we're going to improving the homepage. So now we're at pretty much version 4 of this homepage. Now we got a very specific improvement situation here, keeping the same rules in place and change it to kind of some new text, some new context. And I'll show you guys where I got some of these improvements and where I got some of these suggestions on what to do. So hang with me. Just wanted to give you guys kind of a look at variation number 3 or 4 of the homepage now. We're 2 days in, and now we got 2, 3, 4 different variations of the homepage. We're still on the same morning here, 7 o'clock. I'm looking down, I'm scrolling here. Now we're at almost 8 o'clock with some of these updates, refine the mobile experience. I never really thought about the mobile experience until 2 days in, which I wanted to increase and wanted to think about as well. As you can see here on the mobile side, the images that I had on the desktop, you see on this little here, desktop view. If you click on here, I'll show you the different views. The desktop view above the fold has this imagery, but if I go to the tablet, still has this. This is the tablet one here, and then you go to the last one, which is mobile, and I took away that necessary image, that unnecessary image on mobile because there's less real estate to play around with. But as you can see here, it's a lot more reading, but that's what I wanted on the mobile experience. Continue to go down here an hour later, an hour later, I'm back at it with some of the additional prompting and additional things I wanted to fix here. Just looking at the time slot here, 9:34. Now we're building this out, and the admin page. This is the admin page here, 9:30. I'm almost in the bottom here, as you can see here. We're almost there. 23rd. Once again, add some real internal test submissions. Now we're back at testing. Two days in, we're almost ready to test again. And this testing is very important. UAT, user something testing, is very, very important. But me being solo, I use a little bit of help, which I can show you guys here in just a second after I finish this kind of where we're at right now, 10 a.m. So I remember I started about 7 a.m., so 3 hours into this. I am in some of these improvements after I tested. A little bit of a simpler approach. I don't want it. This is a very frustrating approach that I had to fix here, but it's part of the process, and I don't want to get too in depth into the issue I ran into, but it's more on the scraping side of things that I wasn't able to scrape product pages to get a nice baseline of the information on it instead of me going in and reviewing every single part of the website. I wanted to kind of have a little recap of a review of the product in the page first, but ran into a little bit of issue of getting that and not having to pay for it to have it scraped properly. But if you have any questions on that, just let me know. I am down here. Where we go? All right. Now we're at 11, so we're getting pretty 4 hours in, and took an hour for lunch, and now I'm back at it with similar, as you can see, a similar breakdown here. Persona, constraints, stuff like that you guys want to be very aware of on talking to Lovable and making sure that they're doing the right things for you. Once again, there's a very, very back and forth, and whenever you guys kind of see this prompt that I have, I take a screenshot sometimes and upload and say, can we get submission details bigger because it wasn't set up properly. I'll show you guys the image here. So here's kind of the admin section. There's review queue on the left hand side and the submission details here, and I wanted to kind of get the submission details a lot bigger and the review queue a lot smaller because there's so much white space that is unnecessary. But eventually I'll show you guys kind of the back end and some of the actual reviews that I did. Maybe on a test one I can show you guys the exact process and everything, because that's very important to do. Refine some of the admin page things as I continue to go. And I think we're at the bottom. Yep, we are at the bottom here. Let me move myself out of the way and kind of give you guys the date. Where's the date? All right, December. So haven't worked on it in a couple days, but 2 days in, we built this website. we have this website, we're ready to go. Move this back to where it was. And now I'm saying, okay, I wanted to get this out in the world. Not necessarily connected to my domain quite yet, which is one thing that is very important. Lovable will give you a domain to use. So this is going to be the temporary domain that this website is housed on. So let me show you guys that. Here's the website if you were a new customer and if you're looking at it from a live perspective. Once I get the domain connected, this is what you're going to see. What else was I going to do? Oh yeah, I was going to show you guys this. So I'm using this browser called Atlas. So Atlas on the top right, this is ChatGPT's browser. So what you can do, and what I've been doing recently, is if I open Ask ChatGPT and I click on this open chat menu on the top right, and I switch it to the project that I was working on. So this is part of the Robert here. Here's the ecom audit refinement. So what I wanted to do is, and what I've been doing is having it kind of review it in real time. So once it's published here, as you can see here, I've already done a couple of them. And let me see what I prompted this one. Give me a little prompt to build this. Okay, so sorry, that's a little bit more further down the conversation. I'll just say, review this homepage and give me any improvements you see. So let me see if this is working. Sometimes it bugs out and not work. So we'll see if it wants to work this morning. If it doesn't, no big deal. I'll make another video to kind of show you guys. Yeah, there you go. It's actually working today. So here's my prompt: review this homepage and give me any improvements. Here's a link that it's looking at right now, and hopefully it works. I don't know if it's going to work. Sometimes, like I said, it's buggy and it doesn't really work and doesn't really want to work, but it feels like it's working. And don't get tricked. There you go. All right. This is a strong homepage. I'm very close, which is a good thing to hear. Once again, this chat that I pulled up and connected to, if I can get that pulled up. Let me see if this works here. Oh shoot. I had the response too. Something went wrong. Let's reload this. Remember this chat that I pulled up right here, the ecom audit scope? This is the one that I've been chatting forever with for the past couple weeks to say, this is what I want. So it knows me, it knows what my vision of the idea is, and now we're just collaborating. Now we're just making sure that we're all on the same page and we're creating the things that we've spoken weeks on. So let me go back to review any improvements, and let's hear what they say. And one of the early prompts I gave them in this specific chat is, be completely honest with me. Don't sugarcoat anything. This is a project that is going to be live and for users, so don't sugarcoat anything. Just tell me how it is. So that's very important to tell ChatGPT, because they can be very friendly. They can be very positive. You want to get those things out of the way. Get those things out of the way early, so you can actually have some quality, non-fluff stuff. So work real, message clarity is high. Good. Differentiated, explicit. Yeah, I'm not just giving you a PDF file. I'm not just giving you using software tool to review it. I'm actually personally reviewing it for you. Tone is calm, direct, very important. That's my personality, and I wanted to kind of have it displayed on this website as well, or on the things I'm producing. And now it wants me to reduce a little bit of it, of the hero, where I think this might be a little bit too much over here, which is fine. Suggestions, it wants me to do a video review and kind of put it on here, which I will. It's no big deal. Improvements here, one strong sentence, one subtitle. I think that's a very valid improvement, and it'll give me what I want in terms of what I should say. Yeah, I over-explain some of these things. I think this is on my fault. Is like I really wanted this to be very straightforward and not just like another one of these websites or another copycat of some of these things people are doing. So might have over-explained, which is fine. It'll give you an example. The pricing section can do more emotional work. Okay, What is missing is for the framing. All right, that is very good. And keep in mind, this is version 4 of my homepage already, because I've been going back and forth and trying to improve it. So there might be one of those situations that I over improved it, over complicated the context after going back and forth multiple times. So now it gives me a final assessment. So clarity 9.5, 9.99. Sometimes I say, hey, how do I get these scores 10 out of 10? But this time I won't really do that. I want to still micro improve some of these areas to naturally have it improve, and not really just say go ahead and improve, which you can. You can go ahead and go for it. But what I want to do is they want me to kind of do these 3 things. Let me zoom in a little bit. Nope. Can't zoom in on, no, I can't even zoom in on that section. Anyway, it wants me to rewrite the hero section, rewrite the pricing block, and the last thing is give me a lovable, or do you want a lovable prompt? That's what I want. I want a lovable prompt to apply the exact refinements without drifting. This is exactly what I want. So I'm going to copy that, paste it in here. Lovable prompt to apply the exact refinement without drifting. So I just submit that. I think this is kind of slow this morning. Here we go. Okay. Just need a little bit of time. So here's the prompt, lovable prompt to apply the exact refinements and the exact refinements on updating this. And I'll show you guys what's going on here after it gives me the lovable prompt. Hope you guys are enjoying these videos. I know this has been a very long 45, almost 50-minute video, but this is a real life thing that I wanted to do to show you guys what's going on and what's in my mind. I know I'm talking pretty fast in some situations, so if you guys have any questions, comments, or more importantly, suggestions for me, please let me know, and give you guys kind of a glimpse on how I'm using this. It's not the perfect way of doing this, but this is my way that I've been doing this for about a year or so. So now here you go. Here's the lovable prompt. What I do here, whenever it's completed, there you go. All right, so now I'm looking at this, right? This little gray area is what they want me to copy and paste into Lovable. I'm like, oh no, this is way too long. I don't think Lovable is going to be able to digest this. And pretty simply say, if I can you break this down in phases? So that's another kind of, not necessarily a hack, but something that I use periodically whenever I see them producing a big prompt like this. And let's see if we can break it down in phases for me, so I can copy and paste in more of a manageable prompt for Lovable to digest. If that makes sense. Give it a sec to think about it. I'm gonna let this produce here real quick, and I'm gonna show you guys something else for the last 10 minutes or so. After it produces this, because I'm gonna switch windows and I'll switch tabs and show you guys a more efficient way of doing this. It might have timed out, but we'll give it a sec. But this is kind of a cool tool on this Atlas browser. This is what I use. This allows ChatGPT to review the website in real time, which is always nice from my perspective. Let me see, it might have froze here. So what I'm going to show you guys, what I was talking about is, this one right here. You can still pull this up like right here, oh, there we go, ChatGPT. Oh, this is picking up from my previous chat, which is fine. Let me see what's going on here. Switch the chat, see if I can pull up my other one. All right, it's struggling over here. Let me close this one out. Just close this tab out. Let's switch chats. Projects. Ecom audit. Scope refinement. Hope everybody's having a good Christmas. If all else fails here, and this, like I said, this is a very buggy feature that they have, but it's a nice feature when it actually works. Let me get this pulled up again. All right, come on, load. All right. Doesn't look like it's going to be working as well as I want. So the last thing I can do is, let's pull it up directly on the actual ChatGPT app. All right, so, oops. Let me see if my latest one, am I looking at this right? Is this it? Tighten up homepage without changing position. Yep, this is exactly what I wanted here. What do they respond with? Can you break down the phase? Okay, here's where we can pick it up. So I picked it up over on the actual app. So phase 1, hero clarity, goal. So I'm just going to copy this right here and copy it, go back to the Lovable. So we're at building here. I need to move myself out of the way here. Lovable here. All right, let's just copy and paste. Really simple. Is this what I wanted? Make the vibe obvious. Yep, this is exactly what I wanted. This is the exact suggestion that ChatGPT do it. Very simple. I'm not a genius. This is not a genius move. This is just a simple copy and paste after multiple discussions with ChatGPT and them learning what my idea is. That's very, very important. And I just hit submit. And it's thinking here. Put a timestamp here, 21st. 8:26. So we're right back at it. This video is about almost an hour long, so I'll probably cut it off in at least 8 minutes or even shorter here as I continue to build out. So what's going to happen is it's going to just execute this, and I'm going to go into phase 2. I'm going to go and copy paste into this, copy, and then I'm going to paste it into this. So this is phase 2. Obviously, it's still thinking right here, so I'm not going to cancel this. This is the cancel button here. Oh, I can add message. I didn't know this feature. Add message. Oh, nice. That's a new feature that they have that is queued up. So phase 3, I can just queue this up. Hey, I'm learning things in real time with you guys. So queue this up as well. Very nice. Okay. So this really helps my thing out here. Goal, copy. I'm on phase 4 now. Boom, add. And then I think we have one or two more. So now we got this. Boom, add. And then the last one, number 6. So boom. Yeah, cool. All right, I did not know they had this feature. That's really cool. So that is I'm just gonna let it run through. It's still thinking, so I think we're bogging down my internet here. No big deal. I'll just let it run through, check back in a little bit, and kind of make sure that the fixes are complete. So that's a very quick. What is that? I started on the 21st at 11:30. I'm now on the 25th. And I have a pretty good website. Backend stuff, I might show you guys what's going on over there after I start reviewing it. That's going to be probably the next video on here. This video is only going to be on my YouTube channel, but you can follow me over on LinkedIn, Twitter, or X, TikTok, anywhere that you guys see at the Robert Hugh. That's me. Please follow along and kind of go with me on this journey of building it in public. I'm not trying to sell you guys to use my feature. This is strictly just on how I built, how my mindset is. And I want to end this video on kind of the key points that I want to stress. Chat with whatever AI agent that you're using early. Establish the idea, strategize, and really get your touch into the idea that you're trying to build early, so it doesn't stray away from your tone, what you want to build. Be very specific earlier, the better. Don't make some of the mistakes I made on some of the design things I wanted to establish. Those are going to happen, and I want to stress that, hey, it is potentially that you're going to be thinking of new ideas along the way, but early, just get everything down. Let you and ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever, or Cloud or Perplexity or whatever tool they're using, let them know that this is a new idea. Let them know that you need their help to strategize and to collaborate. Get that out of the way. Start discussing it. Don't rush into the build immediately. And that's one of the mistakes I learned very early. And start prompting it. Use ChatGPT. Use whatever these platforms to tell them to give you a specific Lovable prompt, and they will do it. Don't hesitate to ask for something. If they can't do it, they're going to tell you. If it's not the way you want it, let's correct the prompt in a way that it's going to make your life easier as you continue to build and as you continue to kind of improve the websites that you're trying to launch and hopefully become successful. But that's going to be my video for today. I know it's a very long one, but hopefully it gives you guys a nice look on what's going on here. But this kind of cool Lovable feature, they're just queuing it up and they're just going to run it until it's good. But Lovable is going to continue to innovate. We're going to continue to innovate. ChatGPT is going to continue to innovate. Let them do their thing. We're here to provide them the idea, the human touch, and the direction that we want for them to achieve. So thank you guys for watching this. If you guys have made it to this far, I appreciate it. More videos to come on this kind of build out in public using vibe coding platforms. So follow along, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.